Hello, everyone, and welcome back to NRG series where we have a 10K modern showdown about to come to its conclusion as we enter round number 8. As a reminder, we started the day with 162 players. After 7 rounds of Swiss, bear in mind we're going to the 8th, we are down to a last few players that we know who are cashing, but also we're going to find out which players are going to make it into today's top 8. That top 8, they're going to battle it out. They're going to see who can get away with a bit more money, but more importantly, those leaderboard points and that invite to the end of year championships, where we're going to invite 24 players to battle it out for their share of $35,000 and a Pro Tour invite. But today, what are the players going to get? Where do they need to come for what sort of money? Well, talk me through this.
Well, I'll tell you what everyone is playing for, and that is that invite that comes to the end of the year championship. But along the way, you win a lot of money because first place is $2,400. Second place is a cool $1,200. $400 minimum for top 80, and cash goes down to 32nd. And you'll see anyone who places in even just the top 128 is rewarded for playing it out because you get additional points on the NRG series, which get you on that leaderboard. And that is how many players will, in fact, qualify for the end of the year championship. But I'll tell you something else. You win. You win a showdown. And that is yourself immortalized on a token from Inkling Customs. You see some there on the screen. Hey, if you're Dom Harvey and you want a mana token, there you go. That's a perfect one to use if you're somebody who might be storming off. If you're Nikachu or a Nikachu fan like myself, you have a Merfolk token there. Really anything you want. That is the point. It is what you want. It is customized. It's just another one of those things. We've been talking about it. It goes with the championship, just sort of the personalized touch that the NRG series does, going above and beyond just handing you a check, whether it's an oversized one or not, at the end of the weekend.
Great. Well, we've also been following some players throughout this weekend to see how they get on, because all these players are in contention with a good run this weekend to getting those extra slots that you get from being on the top of the leaderboard. These are the players that are still getting there. The 5 wins, this is good, but that means a lot of them have also been doing well head-to-head, battling out. We've got the Garrick there, Casey, Aiden, all still getting a bunch of points. I don't know how many points you get for being 5 and 2, but this last round going into it, they're going to look for that 6th win. They might hope for the tiebreaker chance of sneaking in 8th into the top 8, but they need those leaderboard points, especially when the people left and right of you in that race are also left and right of you today. So maybe they've even been paired up this round. I should probably look that up before we went live, but real interesting when it gets to it. I'm sure Mason and you are going to be able to go for this a bit more in detail when we start getting to that top 8, but let's get down to our feature match where we've got 2 players sat there. This is a winning in. This is 6 and 1. They didn't think they could ID and get themselves in there. We've got Simic Ritual up against Jeskai Blink. Cliff on the right, Joseph on the left. How do you think this is going to go?
Well, we've watched Jeskai Blink all day long just be one of the sort of most generically powerful decks in the format, in that it can answer pretty much anything it goes against. And that's going to be put to the test here against Joseph Geards on the Simic Ritual deck. And this I love to see, Coiling Oracle on turn 2.
Yeah, I know. It's such a throwback to on this card, see him play again now.
Amazing.
Okay, cool. But we've seen this matchup a few times today. Okay, on different players piloting both decks, but they've been paired against each other quite a lot. And every time the Jeskai Blink deck has been able to get there, I think we've established that this Birthing Ritual deck, it's designed to beat up on the combo decks in the format, the Belchers, the Amulets, even the Storm decks. But going up against this Jeskai deck, as you said in the last round, all the cards in this deck are just really powerful by themselves. Now, if we pit them all together and add them some synergy cards, it goes to that next level. So it's going to be interesting to see if Cliff can get there, can kind of go 1 for 1 and potentially turn the corner. And it's going to be really hard in the face of this Birthing Ritual.
Yeah, this is a really cool card. Hopefully we can get it pulled up on screen here in a minute. But I think I put this thing into a commander deck, and I never really considered that, hey, maybe this is a modern level combo card, but it is, because at the beginning of your incept, if you control a creature, go get the top 7, and you're seeing it here.
Sorry, I saw Harbinger of the Sea.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Merfolk is hitting play. Love to see that. Not necessarily the best hit, but a hit for sure in this case.
I don't know. I'd say that's a pretty good hit. Going up against the Jeskai deck, 3 colors, no basics have been fetched. I'm on the play. Maybe I can gain contempt. You are literally going to go, do you have a Solitude? If not, I'm going to run away with this game.
Yeah, fortunately for Cliff, it looks like the answer is yes. Although just the value accumulated by the one the coiling oracle into the ritual trigger there is pretty nice if you're Joseph, right? So you're not down in the exchange in any sense. That said, you're not going to get to free roll a victory here by turning off your opponent's mana base either.
I think Cliff drew a basic planes off it off the draw step as well, which is nice. But this is one of the things and the powers of this Jeskai Blink deck, right? We're able to do these 2-for-1s to ourselves. We can get our solitudes early, our subtleties, etc. because we have things like Riddlers, Quantum Riddlers in our deck. This is a great card to catch up and gain that card advantage once we use 2-for-1 ourselves, maybe a bit too much in these early turns. But here it is on the stack. Going to ETB, we're going to draw a card.
All right. Well, Cliff catching back up in the card advantage category here, at least slowly with the Riddler. So, all right. So, really, things with that said, kind of at a point of parity here. Nothing really going on for either player on board, but anything for Joseph can get the combo going again.
Well, anything like, a consign or an ephemerate here would also do that. So, yeah, we're going to consign the trigger so we keep the 4/5 body around. Chat's asking, why did we not do that after drawing a card? Well, I believe that is because of subtlety. So, if the subtlety was cast, you can then put it back on top of your deck and then do this the solitude next turn. Where if we wait till their turn, they've already drawn, so there'd be, again, a card behind, so to speak, in that situation. At least that's how I'm reading it. And we're just going to go cascading, but not into any new rhinos, living ends here. But how about a Fibble Fit, which we didn't cast, and 2 cards? Is that a good one?
How about a Fibble Thip? I threw out the word commander earlier, and that's basically what we're watching here. I love it. What a great way to accumulate advantage, because if Fibble Thip entered from your library or was cast from your library, draw 2 cards instead. And well, thanks to the cascade, that's what it did. And it will, in fact, continue to cascade into more value thanks to the ritual in play. Oh, this came from exile in this case. I see. So still just the one.
But that's still good enough. The main point I take from this is there's 2 bodies, which means this birthing ritual is going to be really good.
Exactly.
We can trigger, we can either turn the 2 into a 3 or the 3 into a 4. Options we've got when we do this, we've got things like endurance in there. We know about the Harbinger, Ice Fang Nicole. We don't have the snow-covered basics or snow-covered land, so to speak, to turn this on permanence. But what we do have are things like Oculus. This is a great 5/5 flying. We get around the delve ability of being able to exile 6 cards from our graveyard to keep it around. And then when we pass that turn back, boom, we get to look at the top 2, make one of these a 2/2, put the other into our graveyard.
Well, this makes the Riddler look downright fair by comparison. Oculus does, because even if Cliff is able to answer it, like, you see how every single turn with Ritual in play, things just sort of slowly snowball more and more. And while the Jeskai Blink deck has its own engines to do the same, without answering the Ritual itself, it is still going to be an uphill battle, even if Cliff does say have Solitude or something here to get rid of this Oculus and this token. If it doesn't get rid of the Ritual, Joseph's just going to do the same thing next turn.
So looking at Cliff's deck, we do see Teferis. That's a nice answer for the Oculus on the other side. So there isn't enough cards for when it comes back down. Decides to play the Arena of Glory here and give away a little bit of information that there's a planes in hand. Going to go with a Fable the Mirror Breaker. Just, yeah, sure, you can have that. Remember, lots of counter magic in these decks. That's kind of where it gains its value from. We've got Flare of Denials, Force of Negation, Sink into Stupors, Subtleties, lots of sort of ways to interact with our opponent while keeping parity. And of course, we've got a bunch of blue cheap creatures in the deck.
Fable is a very powerful card. Obviously, it generates a lot of value over time. It's not as good as a Ritual at doing that. And it is sort of a concession from Cliff that there's nothing better to do on this turn.
Yeah, maybe we need to turn and burn through our deck a little bit more. You know, I mean, these cards in my hand, they ain't doing it. But if this resolves next turn, I can ditch 2, draw 2, so I get 3 looks at a couple of new cards. Maybe if one of them's a Solitude or something along those lines, I can ditch my hand a bit more, start turning this Riddler on, because the 5/5 does not attack well into Riddler. But okay. I don't
Well,
know what it could be, but sure.
send them both in.
Is this just to get 5 damage across? We're going to flip it up. It was another Oculus. Oh, no. I guess you can smell it. Like there's got to be a reason to do it. It's not doing it just to get the 5 damage put across. That's going to be huge in the upkeep in a way of going extremely wide here. And then Dismember as our last card after the 5 damage has been dealt to it. That's going to get the Riddler off as well. Woo, Joseph is cooking.
What a line that was. Wow. We talk about sort of slowly snowballing advantage. Well, that was the avalanche of advantage right there when the Manifesting Dread came up and just completely swung that. Huge line there for Joseph. And by the way, now we're going to ritual again.
Ephemerate did save the Riddler. That is, became so another card was added, but we're going to cash in the Cyrus Agent here for a Ice Fang McCarl. Lack of snow permanence, but that's fine. It's still going to be a 1/1 flyer that can block and will get us a card deeper, and really does find us a nice icy snow-covered island. We should have ice-covered lands as well. I've just decided that. Maybe I'll pitch that to someone at Wizards. But it's for snows for when it's cold, but when it gets really cold, we can have icy ones. Pass and turn. We're going to do Ephemerate in the upkeep. We are going to target our Riddler again to try and draw a card. We've got 2 lands Riddler in hand, up to, I think, a 3rd land, and then a Solitude. That's a good hit. Fable's going to tick up to 2. Chapter 2 means we can discard up to 2 cards, draw 2. One of the cards we're going to discard is going to be our basic planes, something that maybe Joseph wants to keep a track of in case there is a Harbinger of the Sea in the future, because there is definitely a lack of basics over on Cliffside here. Flage was one of the cards that was found. Or at least I think it was a Flage. Maybe it's a... Oh, maybe it was a Doggo, actually. Failure.
Yeah, we talked about Cliff sort of taking the last turn off with the Fables so that you could churn through your deck on this turn. And now you see what you're up against. And this is probably the last turn for Cliff to try to interact here before you're just sort of, at this point, just sort of alpha striked nearly to death. So plenty of mana to work with and a couple new cards. So gonna need to probably, I guess, if you at this point you're looking to remove the Oculuses to try to get the board to a standstill. If you can survive long enough to transform your Fable, maybe you can start generating some long-term advantage. So it basically has to involve Solitude. So here it comes to take care of 1 Oculus.
Do with an Ephemerate as well. If we had an Ephemerate here, we know we've used 2 so far this game. That'd be a great way of kind of stalling this this battlefield up and gumming it. So the shenanigans stop. So I don't know what's underneath those 2 manifest tokens. Ice Fang was found. That's another snow permanent. Anyone keeping track of those? Just an absolute grip for the cards here. Oh, we also didn't have a way of stopping that Solitude coming down. The amount of cat magic in this deck with flares and stuff, and we decided not to.
That's right. Between flare and subtleties.
I kind of like the idea. I think I would have played a snow-covered basic here, and then I still got in there with the snake as well, and just fretted flashing in double snake. Okay, let's decide now they want to block here. I am the one that fixes to me is I'm going to block the Oculus. So 5/5 into the 4/6. Great. Then there's 2 2/2s on the ground, but these 2/2s, remember, they can flip up. They could be anything.
Could even be an Oculus.
Could what happened the first time around.
Cliff with the swap him at the last second. All right, well, let's see what they were. If Joseph wants to do anything, if Joseph's just happy getting in damage. Lots of cards. Oh, thinking about it. Wow.
Oh my God, it was another one.
Oh my gosh.
All right. If it rains, it pours. 5 damage is going to come across. Drop Cliff down to 5. This one's going to die. This was a Flare of Denial. Then we're going to play our snow-covered island. Still got 6 cards in hand. And remember a trigger and a turn here. Look at the top 7. We can turn our 2-drop into a 3-drop or our 3-drop into a 4-drops.
See a Harbinger in there.
I see a Harbinger, and I don't hate it.
No, that's not bad here. Obviously, Cliff can still sort of play around it. It's not debilitating, but it is just another piece of things you have to work around. And by the way, there's going to be more manifest dreading happening. So I think there may be some manifest dread followed perhaps by some sideboarding.
Okay, well, we're going to put the Sharks Agent in the bin. Second one, these were really quick snaps.
Yeah.
Deck lists will become available when we get into the top 8. This is the last round of Swiss. Once we get into that top 8, that's when deck lists are going to become available to not only the players, but also you beautiful people watching out there on the Twitch land.
I love this ritual deck. Joseph, if Joseph does pick up this round, or perhaps we'll see how it breaks regardless, but if Joseph's able to make the top 8, I'm very interested to watch this Simic Ritual deck play
It's
out.
been very fun to watch. I think I'll actually pick this up and give it a couple of reps on Magic Online. What's the odds that one of these manifests is going to be the fourth Oculus?
I would say pretty low, but I'm not Frank Carson. I'm not a mathematician. I'll just say it could happen.
All right, playing another Riddler. We get to draw a card. Didn't get a good look at what it was.
All right, if Cliff has Ephemerate here, that's able to remove one more of the
It's
Oculus.
not able to do nothing. No white mana.
Oh, you're right. That's an island, of course, because of the Harbinger.
So block. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, not lethal. There goes the snow-covered forest.
Well, it is just sort of now the blocks are even more interesting though because of the double blocking involved. I'm actually not sure where Joseph wants to go with this offhand, but we're going to start with, well, that makes things a lot easier.
We're going to bounce one back. That's a lot easier. Yeah, that's going to be a game. Just get in there with the flyers. Don't give any chance to that Solitude to gain their life. And we're going to see trophies take down game number 1. But we can see what Kev's got in the sideboard and see if there's a way of shaping this and making it look better for us as we move into game number 2. What'd you like to hear, Corbin?
Well, I would say if I were to do a highly detailed analysis of that first game, it would probably say something like, if the combo deck gets to play the card it's named after, you're in trouble. So maybe prevent Birthing Ritual from hitting play, I think, if you're Cliff Boyardee. And to that end, you're looking at more counter magic. You've got a couple options there. You're also looking at sort of any sort of board wipe that might get there. Elhesh Norn, Mother of Machines, is actually an interesting one to turn off a bunch of ETB effects. But you have some ability to cut down on cards that you maybe don't want in the matchup, because it is certainly one where you need to answer some specific cards and then leave your opponent hopefully drowning in sort of a world of 1/1s that you eventually just sort of grind through.
All right, well, let's look on the other side. We're a game up. If you're on Joseph, if you're a fan of Joseph here, you're going to be happy. But this is the 75. How can we shore up so we can get this second W and get ourselves into today's top 8?
Yeah, it looks like over here from Joseph's deck, you've got another Harbinger if you want it. Obviously, the Consigns, if you want to go that route. Mystical Disputes, I think, can be pretty key to any counter magic battles we might see. And they also do things like just catch a Riddler when it comes down. That kind of thing, I think, could be pretty important. So you can only do so much with this deck. And you saw most of Joseph's cards were just already kind of good in game 1. But you can sort of poke at the edges here and add in a couple of counter magic, especially considering you're going to be moving to the draw. Mystical Dispute is great at catching sort of the same way something like Spell Snare or Stern Scolding, although I'm not entirely sure if that's the one you want right here, but lots of ways to interact at a mana advantage in the sideboard.
Yeah, and if you can just keep flipping the Oculus, I feel like you're going to run away with most games here in Modern. Players coming to the end of sideboard, and it's still going through it a little bit. So I'm going to advertise it one more time, at least while I'm here, the NRG series and the collab with Magic Online. I'm a huge fan of both of these companies. I work for both of these companies. I like them both extremely, and now they have joined together to make one superpower. It's like they're morphing. What's those Zorbs, isn't it, in Power Rangers? The Zorbs connecting to make one mega beast that I cannot defend and I have to play in this, but you can at home as well. Maybe you're watching the NRG series and you can't get out to one of the events. Well, next weekend, 7 days from today, Sunday, Edge of Eternity sealed event. $2,500 on the line in that prize pool, and the winner of it will get an invite directly to the end of the year championships for the NRG, where of course 24 players, 35,000 PT invite, great, but also points for the leaderboard get added from this as well, and that's huge. And if you think that's something you want to do, make sure you scan that QR code, go to the socials, it's on there if you missed it. But we've got some magic to play right now, as we've got Joseph's going to go down to 6 cards on the draw, though, so it's not the do or end all, but the amount of value this deck can generate, mulligans don't seem to hurt it too much, I don't think.
No, not at all, really, on either side here.
Oh, here we go. Torben, are you down with this? The kids these days talk about these numbers, and I don't understand what they are because I'm such a boomer. And I imagine you're in the bucket with me as well.
I'll tell you this, Will.
Go for it.
Multiple children at my son's elementary school have been punished for doing this after being told to stop by having to write 6-7 on 67 lines of paper.
Okay. Wow. Okay. What? I don't know how to punish this though. Does it mean you have to? It'd be even better if the deck list had 67 cards in it.
Yeah, there was a 67 card scape shift list or something back in the day, right?
If you got 67 cards in the main, you're allowed to do this in the opening. Man. Joseph's going down to 5 here.
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw this for the first time, I loved it. I love a good harmless internet meme. I'm not the teacher getting trolled by it all day at school, trying to teach children math and having them shout 6-7 at me.
Oh yeah, I bet that's annoying. I just don't know what it's about. I'm just like, sure, as long as you're happy.
It's not about anything. That's the best and worst part of it. Actually, the best part of it is that it's over now. Cliff is keeping the hand. We are getting into the match.
See, I can always go one further in it and just say, my era was a difference card in the number in the 60s.
It's true.
Fine. We're gonna get out to see if we can keep have a 5-card keepable hand here over on Joseph's side, and looks like we are gonna keep the 5. It's going to be a little hard though to be on the draw and kind of go par with this powerful Jeskai deck, but it's not the not do or end all. We've seen how powerful the deck was game 1, and if worst thing goes to worst, we can try and claw it back in game number 3. Okay, Surveil. Do we like this card? Question mark. I feel like if I'm keeping the 5, I've got to have a birthing ritual in there somewhere, or at least some sort of good 2-drop. I see a force negation in hand plus blue card.
I think, maybe we're gonna. Ooh,
birthing ritual. Didn't like
it's got to be a land issue then. Although I do that might be.
Otawara in the hand.
Yeah, so very interesting choice by Joseph there to put that ritual into the graveyard.
Maybe it's because it'll take multiple turns to set up being on the draw. It'll make all our turn next turn not great, but we could have something like a 2-drop plus flare denial, like a knock, an oracle, or an ice fang, and then that potentially could stall whatever Cliff's play is going to be, and we can try and get into the game that way. Don't know. We'll see how it pans out here. Just a land go again, but doesn't mean that there isn't a Thalia floating around. Otawara is going to be the play, and then it is going to be an oracle. Which is going to get countered for 1 mana.
Yep. Mystical Disputes catching up there. This Coiling Oracle getting countered is a pretty decent game to watch, I have to say. Given some of the things we've seen today, given some of the amulet lines, the Ruby Storms of the world, some good old honest counter spell on your Coiling Oracle feels good.
I need to speak to Norm and try and get us a bingo list. That'd be a good square on the bingo list, wasn't it? Like having a Coiling Oracle countered on stream.
Back in the day, I mean, just the idea of not back in the day, more like just several months ago, the idea of even having one cast would have been a
crazy
hit.
You've been like, oh, cool, nice, Pauper Cube that you're playing or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, not seeing it in modern where we see so many good, powerful cards. Is
It's
compared
really
to play one
we
now?
should talk
No.
about the reason here, right? In addition to the ritual, it's Flare of Denial, right? The ability to accumulate the value and then catch it up for free on a spell later on is sort of the underlying power of the point of playing these cards, that on their surface are just kind of cute throwback value cards, but the point is they turn into something much later thanks to the sort of the double engines at work here in the Simic deck.
Well, yeah, and remember we're on a mode of 5, so you know, I mean, any card that will draw us a card plus put 7 on the board is great. You're trying to scoop out those 2 points. So let's say we play the 1/1, and then we draw a card from it. We hit a land, great. Okay, we're up a card. Then it means Cliff's got to use a card to deal with that 1/1, and this is how we're going to start getting that incremental value. Another great one for it though, which we just found off the top, is a Shardless Agent, and that's what we're going to cast. Cascade Trigger is going to go on the stack. Can't cast. Oh, nope.
There we
you
go.
Would you
All right.
like
Well,
to look at these?
that accumulates more value when you have the snow permanents. It's actually pretty annoying for people playing Quantum Riddlers to have to deal with.
Yeah, very annoying, especially you imagine having to use your Flage to deal with that, or a Solitude. Did we draw?
Not sure.
Chat? Question mark? I don't think I saw a draw. It doesn't mean it didn't happen though, but okay. We didn't draw, so there's the draw. I still got it. I still got it, Corbin. You know, I'm into 8 rounds deep now. Still got it.
Can't get anything past this guy.
Solitude ditching a prismatic ending. I think this is going to be on the end step. I see a Flare Denial in the hand. Now, there's either really good poker face here by Joseph, kind of making Cliff think, "Do I have that? Do you not have that?" And I like the. I think I like it, but we're just going to use resources, right? We've got to ditch a blue card for this. No, wrong. We got to sacrifice a creature for this.
Yes,
then
this is a much better exchange, honestly, for Joseph. If you're just doing that, if you just get rid of your Shardless Agent here, but I guess considering whether at the same time it's actually worth fighting over.
Well, I think we've got a subtlety. I think that's the other option in our hand. Is like, oh, we've got a subtlety. Do we want to subtlety it? And then if there's a response to the subtlety, maybe that's the blue card creature we could sacrifice. I do see a mystical dispute in the hand for Cliff as well. So here's the denial. There is a force negation in the hand. I believe we're in Joseph's end step, so can't use that force. Okay. I'm not sure. Countered. It did the job. You know what I mean? I took out one of your creatures, but in the end, it didn't take out one of your creatures. You took it out yourself. So nice 2 for 2 there.
All right, here we go. Cliff trying to get back in it with the Riddler. This is Joseph was keeping up a suspicious 1 mana for dispute, but
dispute into dispute. Yeah. Force.
Wow, what blue card.
Please don't tell me there was a land in hand. I'll be so upset if there was a land in hand and we didn't play it first.
What an exchange here. Bevy of free spells hitting the stack all at once, and the end result being a countered Quantum Riddler.
Well, look, that's big. That's huge. Yeah. In fact, that is exactly clear. At the minute, remember, Joseph's 2 cards down, started on that mold of 5, but it's now got what, 2 cards in hand. Shardless Agent. This is a great one of catching up. And this is gonna, if this hits something like a birthing ritual.
Yeah. And opted, by the way, to keep the Shardless Agent over the Ice Fang earlier, meaning you just have 2. That's an additional point of power. And now it's followed up by 3 more points of power, meaning 5 power in play for Joseph. I mean, the clock, you got to get a clock from somewhere. Ooh, and it is building.
This is going to be a Solitude Ditching white card. Ephemerate, I think, is the last card in Cliff's hand. So doing this before the reveal of the Coiling Oracle, which, by the way, there's so much respect put on that card this game. It's been unreal.
No kidding.
What's the reason for it? Why are we doing this in response to the trigger, opposed to letting the trigger resolve and then doing it?
Well, here we go. Sorry, catch the Flare of Denial. We're going to fight over it again.
Wow. Oh, my word. It was a Riddler. They both just emptied their hands, and then Joseph finds the Riddler, has a little chuckle to himself as well. Like, yeah, I think that's a good one.
Wow.
Now the pressure's going to be on Cliff. What can Cliff find on the top of the deck? Tap it and hope for the best.
Yeah, I was gonna say Cliff wants to do that because of any sort of flair, shenanigans, things like that. But Joseph able to end the exchange with the 1/2/2 up here, and this
Crack.
is
Surveil lands. Pit a Flage in the graveyard. Play it. Watch this. I'm calling it. I'm calling it.
that is a nice line here, right? Because that would be a huge swing back for Cliff, and this match has deserved it the way this game has gone.
It's the only line. Like, you draw for turn. It's a land. You still got a Surveil in your deck. Let's do it. Crack it. Go down to 14. Surveil. Off for the cut. Tap the top. Hope that it is a Flage. It's a solitude. It's a solitude. Keep that one around. We've got 5 mana. We can hard cast that next turn after the Riddler's done some damage.
Yeah, that would have been ideal to hit. Obviously, to just call and hit the Flage there, but that's not bad either.
I think we found a birthing ritual for the turn as well, so we can go land birthing ritual, keep 1 land in hand, trying to upgrade this Stardust Agent into like an Oculus maybe.
That would
Molder 5. Remember, Molder 5.
Well, that Riddler was obviously just beyond good here.
I'm gonna say the best draw in the deck at that point.
Almost certainly, and if not, it's Birthing Ritual, which is the other one. So, or maybe it was Oracle instead.
Maybe I'm missing it. But if I'm a Shardless Agent, again, another great tooth one. Then it's going to go on it's going to warp out of it or phase. Draw the card, pass. Of course, Cliff already knew what that was. We know what that is as well. Solitude, maybe we can get a little blowout here. If they both get turned sideways, Solitude the 2/2, block the 1/1.
Yeah, combat can get kind of messy here in a way that could end to Cliff's benefit, but the Harbinger is, I believe, what's coming from Joseph here, which forces the issue. Or at least forces the mana tapped in response, and then maybe you hit the Harbinger, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's like literally Joseph is running hot this game, and I was trying to think like I think the correct play is to hardcast it, but then it's still going to be on the board. Oh, we're going to float the mana in response,
right? So you can at least answer the Harbinger itself.
Yeah, let it respond and go into that. Hope there's no counter magic. There isn't. It's going to go. 2 life is going to get gained. We're still in. Have a match on our hands here. Then the follow up is go. Oh, please be nice. Be nice. Oh, it was green card. I got excited then. Still going. Still going. That's the Oculus. I don't think we've played all the 2-drops. There's definitely some birthing rituals floating around.
There's got to be some hits left.
There it is. Birthing ritual. Not what you want to see from Cliffside, but realistically, you don't want to see any cards on the other side. You kind of hope they've all been played.
It felt like we were ancestral. Felt like we were going Shardless into Ancestral Vision there. That was, you knew you were going to hit something very good if you're Joseph. And now just Shardless Agent power has netted multiple 3 extra cards, right? This game. And now the ritual turns it into even more.
Well, if we can hit an Oculus here, bear in mind we did push 2 to the bottom. There's a nice Fang. So we've definitely got a card we can upgrade for another card in our hand, which then adds the possibility of potentially forces denial getting drawn off it. That is what's going to happen. There are 3 other snow basic permanents on the board as well, just to add.
Yeah, Cliff needs something now because, your opponent adding 1/1s and 2/2s that give you value, you can probably deal with a good draw. Your opponent putting Birthing Ritual into play is just going to be devastating. And Cliff,
Wrath of the Skies. I think we've got to that point in the game. We need to be hitting Wrath of the Skies off the top of our deck just to survive at this point. Joseph, remember on that Molder 5, but it's absolutely turning the corner now. The value of this deck generating, I think the Shardless Agents had a big part in this game, being able to get 2 bodies every time. And yeah, we're turning everything sideways. Here's 5 damage.
And there's access to the Riddler as well in a second main phase here. So time is running out for Cliff.
I think we got land plus in hand. Didn't realize. See what the other one was, but we're going to go block in, which is going to be neutral, gain 3 life, lose 3 life. That's a land. Where question mark cracking it? I kind of like cracking it because I know there's 2 Oculus at the bottom of my deck, and I kind of want to shuffle them back in, especially I've got a Bertha Mitchell. But
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
not to say the forbidden words, but it also thins your deck for a hit if you were to do that.
oh, was that last card? Yeah, last card we found was the Oculus. Cashing that in straight away, adding the 5/5 to the board. When we pass the turn, we're going to get to look at the top 2 and make a 2/2 as well, which potentially could be anything in the deck. Shuffle those up, put them to the bottom.
All right. Does Cliff find a Wrath?
But obviously, Wrath of the Skies will bust at this point, I'm pretty sure. It might even have to be Wrath into Wrath.
Yeah.
And hope there's no counter magic on the other side. Didn't get a look at it. At 9 life, facing down 9 power.
Solitude allows you to get rid of an Oculus and block. The game continues.
Oh, how
Flage.
about
Okay.
Flage? How does that change the math? That puts us up to
So
12. That will give us another
Flage
turn.
is able to clear 1 card. See if you pointed at the Manifest Dread or at the Shardless. But
yeah, it's basically the safe option or the risky option, right? Yeah,
yeah.
if that gets flipped up and you did 3 damage, just like another Oculus or an Endurance, you're going to feel real bad here.
That said, you're still basically, since you can't escape it this turn either for Cliff, it is unlikely to be enough, almost regardless of what you pointed at here. And opposite guaranteed remove things. So this buys you another turn. So in that way, it's huge. But in itself, it's not enough. If there had been another land there and you could actually play and escape and double point the triggers at Oculus, maybe there's something to be said. But in this case, it basically equates to a redraw for Wrath.
I think that it's a blue kind of hand. If I'm right, it's a Sink to Stupor. And so not to do it because don't want to bounce that back to the hand because, the ability to recast it for Cliff. But how about we just flip over another Oculus here?
Of course, it's an Oculus.
Why wouldn't it be? Dismembers what we draw for the turn. Get in there for 10 points of damage. Drop Cliff down to 2. Have the answer, I think, for the in the Flage in there. If we hit an Endurance now, I'm out of it. But I say we missed, but then I'm not entirely sure if there's anything better in the deck we'd want to turn these Oculuses into. So just a straight pass the turn.
Wrath or bust. I guess we said it was Wrath or bust last turn. It technically was not true, but for the game, it does remain true.
If there's counter magic in the hand, or if it is a Sink to Stupor, which I believe it is. Oh,
well, all right.
Wrath's still good. Wrath's still good.
Still got the planes. Still have the planes.
Tap the deck. Flip it. Flip it.
Nope. Does not look like it.
There's a little smile.
Oh,
it's Norn. Okay, good handshake. That was a really fun game back and forth. Obviously, if you're on Joseph's side, it definitely went your way. Some really good hits there. But good for both these players. Congratulations to him. Going to be able to find himself in the top 8. Cliff, commiserations, but a bunch of points. Maybe that will help out later on the leaderboard. We're going to try and get them in for a interview, I believe, which is always nice to to kind of see why they bought the deck, etc. You've got roughly 30 seconds. If you've got any questions, whack it in the chat and we'll try and throw it to them. If not, me and Corbin are going to start asking some of our own. But let's just remind everyone what is on the line. Maybe we can put the prizes side up quickly until we get them in for the interview. This is what is on the line. Everyone, 30-second upwards is going to gain some cash. Talk me through it, Corbin.
Yeah, first place, $2,400, 30 points. And of course, we know that token. Top 8 pays out at least $400. Money goes down to 32nd, top 128. All receive additional points on the circuit. And if you look over to the right there, though, your top 4 regional championship invites. So there's a lot to play for at every stage of the tournament, whether you're just trying to get additional points on the series, whether you're trying to hit a break point for cash, whether you're chasing those invites, there is something for you and something for everyone who shows up in these as an opportunity to have a custom token made after them. Inkling Customs tokens, that is. You see them on the screen there, some of our past winners. And you know what? You've seen them on the screen throughout the weekend in any event you tune into for an NRG series. So we appreciate everyone who is able to come up with such creative ideas for these, working with Inkling Customs to produce these awesome tokens. So, all right, I think we are ready. We're going to head down to an interview here with Joseph.
Hello, Joseph. Hopefully you can hear us. You're in the booth. We've got Will and Corbin. Congratulations on taking the win there, getting yourself into today's top 8. The first question I want to know is, why did you bring this deck this weekend?
Asked that because the start of this tournament, I was not sure what deck I was going to play. I was between Goryo's or this deck, leaning towards this deck. My team is especially Kamari's pushing for this deck. So
why is that though? Why are we pushing towards this deck? Why do we think?
So Kamari actually recently got his Pro Tour invite with the deck. Other than that, I mean, it's Harbinger. It's one heck of a card. People who haven't necessarily played against the deck yet might just let that trigger resolve, not realizing that Harbinger could potentially come down and just lock themselves out of the game by accident. So.
I've seen that a couple of times there, just some really sticky situations. It does help though when you and your opponent are top decking, ripping Riddlers off the top.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Or when you manifest dredging more Oculuses. Everything looked like it went really well.
It did very, very well at the end.
Well, looking forward to the top 8 here, just to get not to get too far ahead of ourselves. But what do you like for the deck here? What are you hoping to play against? What are you hoping to avoid?
The man on the block to beat is Titan. So that's what we're looking to beat. Things we want to avoid are is it prowess and affinity. The go fast strategies can be a little difficult.
I feel like you maybe got 50% of what you want there, and looking at some of the decks.
Yep.
Today's top 8, but maybe we can dodge them as you.
Hopefully.
All right. Well, let's say everything goes perfect. Right, we have that hot run. We get in the top 8. We get all the way to the final. We win it. We get the invites to the India Championships. You get to battle out for $35,000 plus that Pro Tour invite. Well, probably for the end of today, you're getting a bit of money. You get the RC invite, but you get a custom token made in your likeness. What token would you want made?
Ooh, on the spot.
I made if it's with this deck, it's got to be that manifest token.
Right, Corbin, go for it.
Yeah, all right. We got a question coming in from chat here, Joseph. Where did the hoodie come from? They love it.
My wife actually got it for me. I told her I was on stream, so she's probably in chat right now. So she got it for me. Not exactly sure where she got it.
Texas Gaming, by any chance. It would be pretty cool. But yeah, it's a nice hoodie. Do you want to do any shout outs to anyone before we let you go and kind of rest before we get into
Yeah. Definitely shouting out to Kamari for pushing the deck hard for the team. Although I was the lowest, like wanting to play the deck coming into the tournament, it seems that I have done the best so far. So that worked out.
Hey, look, it works out. Sometimes it's your day, and today, if you can keep that rolling, hopefully we'll get to see you in the finals today and take it away, and then see you in the invitation at the end of the year. So, thank you very much. We're going to let you shoot off. Congratulations again, and we're looking forward to seeing you in that top 8.
Thank you.
We're going to move back to the booth with me and Corbin, because this is going to be, I don't think we've got a backup feature match. I'm going to wait for the production to tell me, because if we do, we've got another game for you. If not, it's going to be the last time you see this face at the minute. Oh, we do have a backup. Going into game 2, let's do it. Let's get down to it. More magic. I'm still around, chat.
We'll keep you around for a little longer,
yeah,
Will.
Why not?
You know, 8 rounds, you know.
Every production needs a British guy, and unfortunately for you, it's me. We're going to have Wesley versus Harrison here. We've seen them both so far up to this point. Amulet Titan versus Esper Goyos. We're in game 2, where Amulet is up 1 game. So a lot to do here over on Harrison's side with this, the powerful Goyo's Vengeance deck, getting Atraxas and Gristlebrand's out of it. Is this deck just too slow to do with Amulet, though?
I think that on Harrison's side, that is a concern, which means you really are going to prioritize the cards you do have that interact early. Obviously, going into the sideboard game here, you have some extra things to look at. I don't know about this hand, though, for Harrison. Looks like a bunch of lands. Looks like we're going to keep it, though. I spotted an Atraxa in there as well. So we'll see if he's got some early interaction here for Wesley, who looks like he kept a full grip over there.
I think we've seen Harrison, maybe this might be the 3rd time on camera now. Not once have I seen the turn 1 Surveil into turn 2 Goyos. Like, why when I play against the deck does that always happen? But yeah, we've not seen it once yet on camera.
Sounds like a skill issue. when you play it.
That's absolutely set myself up for that, didn't I? Smash! Absolutely smash. But over on the other side, Wesley's going to start off with an Ursa Saga into an Amulet of Vigor, the namesake card of the deck. We know what that is basically key part 1. Now, are we going to follow that with some sort of maybe Spelunking next turn, a way to advance and ramp our mana? And then when that Saga comes off, we get the second Amulet and just able to take the game down. Yet again, no Surveil into an Atraxa. We do find a Thoughtseize, though.
Yeah, this is setting up to be not a high roll game for Harrison, but you do have some interaction here with the Thoughtseize. That said, Wesley is setting up for potentially a very explosive a game of his own, right? Just turn 1 Amulet leads to the most devastating plays possible. This is sort of the most explosive lines the deck can possibly come up with. So we'll see what Wesley does with it. 2 mana.
We just passed the turn there where we had the option to, of course, cast that Thoughtseize, which makes me think we maybe have got a Faithless Mending in the hand, maybe some sort of Solitude Ephemerate line.
Yeah, Wesley continuing to high roll makes 3 mana on turn 2, places Spelunking, which allows you to make 2 more mana.
Is it high rolling when the deck's like that's all it does? It just does this. It just does this. It's very consistent of it, but it does play Spelunking, so I get to make my Batman reference, which I always do when that comes out. Yeah, could Thoughtseize himself as well. Maybe setting up for that next turn. Have we got a go? Oh, maybe we do have a Goes in hand. I think chat might have spotted it. Next turn, play our 3rd land. Thoughtseize us myself. Put my Atraxa in the bin, then goes it back. But then is that even good enough in the face of double Amulet Spelunking against?
Right, that's the real problem. Although, yeah, we'll see. Spelunking and double Amulet actually doesn't really work as well as you want it to. If I understand the deck correctly, I think you'd only get like 1 untap there, but I don't. I know it's not quite as good. But here's some more from Wesley though.
This literally breaks up everything that Harrison wanted to do. If it was a self Thoughtseize, which ironically, if we Thoughtseize last turn, might have actually been, a way of getting that Ghost Vacuum out of here. Flip side is, if we surveil a big fatty into the graveyard now, we can get an Atraxa, we can get a Gristlebrand in there, that gets eaten.
Yeah, you can certainly you've got a shot here if you're able to pull it off. You also then can later, maybe bait an activation. We'll see what ends up being available to Harrison here. Yeah. Does have choices because he's got, and here we go. We're going to Thoughtseize you.
Spelunking, Titan, Green Sun Zenith, double land. Ooh. Either way, you kind of cut this up. I think we're seeing a Titan next turn. Yeah, I'm not high bet either, Harrison. If I was not sitting on your side, it's just not shaping up for us. Take the Green Sun Zenith. Sure, pass the turn. Is that a Subtlety in hand, maybe? Because then that's an answer for a Titan for a turn. This is where the math starts. This is where the cog starts turning quickly for Wesley, but not moving extremely quick. Normally, these combo players, real quick, they move when they know they've got lethal, but we've got to play around some stuff. We know there could be subtleties. There could be solitudes on the other side.
Yeah, it's a really interesting spot here for Wesley in that you feel like you have basically almost anything you want to work with, and you just have to make sure that you are playing around the most things possible, especially when you have that Ghost Vacuum in play. You feel like you do have a line of defense up. You really just don't want to find a way to let this slip away.
I think that's where the skill level. We talk about the skill quite a lot of this deck and how it's extremely hard to pilot. It's easy to pilot when you do the double Amulet, Titan, Haste, hit you. Yeah, sure. But gone are the days of giving it double strike and a little buff. We don't do that anymore. That isn't the way to win it. The way to win now is with infinite Titans. And we're going to see Atraxa Ditch for this subtlety. Couldn't slam that down quicker if we tried there. That's the reason behind taking the Green Sun Zenith over the Titan, because we have an answer for this. And awkwardly, the only answer is put it back on top of a deck and just do it again next turn.
Yeah, not ideal, but keeps you around. Keeps the game going. You're still trying to find, if you're Harrison, just a small window to get a Atraxa into play and then reload and sort of overwhelm from there. I'm going to have another shot here surveilling.
But then what are we going to do? We put something big into the graveyard. We try to target it with our Goyos. Ghost Vacuum eats it. That's that line screwed. I think we need something. We need like land ending the go. We need to surveil now. Some attraction in the graveyard. Then draw a land. Then Prismatic ending the Ghost Vacuum. That gets activated. In response, we can Goyos it back. And then maybe we've got a chance of getting back in the game if we draw some sort of subtleties. I think we found a Psychic Frog, though. Oh, well, maybe an ending as well, actually.
Yeah, a prismatic here is pretty, well, it's something, I suppose. You're able to just, okay. Gets rid of one amulet.
So does stop the Titan coming down, right? Unless this is a Lotus Field. No, Lotus Field wouldn't do it either. So the Splunkings don't stack the same as a amulet does.
Right. Spelunking's, in this case, it just gives you the trigger, although this is a pretty good use of that trigger with the Ice Till Explorer letting you replay an Urza Saga. So just sort of accumulated value happening on Wesley's side at this point.
And the Titan in hand that we know about. Force of Negation, draw. It is not looking good if you're a Harrison fan here. 6-1 is a great record, but this game is slipping further and further away and might not get another turn now, which would lock Wesley into our top 8. Just to pass the turn. Exile a card or your creature with the Ghost Vacuum. Sure. Don't think that's going to be relevant enough that we're going to actually activate it with the 6 mana. Saga's going to go to chapter 2. Cast Titan. So nope, handshake. We're going to see Wesley take this down, get into today's top 8. Congratulations to him. Harrison, it just didn't go his way. Set up for that 1-9, potentially forces himself the attraction, getting it back that way, but the Ghost Vacuum just absolutely put a nail in that coffin straight away. Really cool games to see though in that there before and see who's now getting into the top 8, especially following it all the way through today, because I've had 8 rounds of Swiss and I'm a little tired. I'm across the pond. It's getting late here. It's almost midnight where I am. So this is going to be the last round for me, chat. So I want to say thank you again to everybody. I'm going to swap out and Mason's going to come back in. You thought you saw the end of him today. No. He's taking you through today's top 8, but he's going to do it alongside Corbin. Corbin, it's been a pleasure as always, my friend. I'm glad we finally got to get a couple rounds together.
I'm very happy that we did, Will. Thank you for making it through the whole day today. We all appreciate it. And I'm very happy that we got a chance to do this. And we got to watch some great magic along the way. And there is more great magic to come on the other side. So stick with us here. We'll be back with the top 8.